Have you ever wondered if you're paying thousands more for a car that's basically the same as a cheaper one? Car companies do this all the time. Same engine, same parts, just a different badge on the front. And most people never even notice. In this video, you'll see 10 cars that look different on the outside but are nearly identical underneath. Some of these pairs will surprise you, and the last one might change how you see your favorite brand. If this channel found you, then subscribe and keep our relationship going. Let's jump in. Number 1. Nissan Frontier and speed automatic transmission. separate names and badges. Cases, it gives buyers